So I didn't come here planning on doing this just like everybody else, but I listen to everybody else tell their stories, and I'm like, oh, I got a story like that. I got a story like that. So my story is about college, where I think most of us go through a period of getting busted in college. So I went to college on a gymnastics scholarship. And it's really hard to be a college scholarship athlete because you have to follow the rules or you get kicked out or lose your tuition money, which is what I had. But you know, in college, everybody goes out drinking Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. So our season runs from January until May. And my roommate and I were both on the gymnastics team. Now, she was a walk-on gymnast, so she had no money. And I was a scholarship gymnast, so I had my tuition paid for. But we both loved to go out. She is still my best friend to this day, and we still love to go out. So Thursday night, we went out. Friday morning, we have practice. We go to practice. We come back. We have a gymnastics meet at Brown University. We are in Bridgeport, Connecticut. So it takes about 2.5 or 3 hours to drive to Brown. And she's like, it's Friday night. The bus leaves at 6 a.m. She's like, let's go out. I said, no, I'm not going out. She's like, come on, let's go out. I said, mm-mm. She goes, we won't take any money. I'm like, that never helps. We go out. You don't need money. Sorry, gentlemen. If you're a girl in college, you don't need money. You just go out. So I'm like, no, you go. She's like, all right, I'll go. She goes, I'm a backup anyway. I never compete. And I was like, yeah, well, I do, so I have to get my sleep. So she goes out, I go to bed. 3:30 in the morning, she gets shoved in the door. She is totally hammered, and I am like, I have to get up now. The bus, I know, leaves in 3 hours, and we have competition. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I have to undress her. I have to get her ready, get her to bed, and then I have to get her up in the morning, and she's still hungover. So I have to drag her and get her on the van without our college coach knowing she had been out all night. So I do all that, and I'm like, I cannot believe that I pulled this off. So she's sleeping in the van in the corner, but she smells to high heaven like alcohol, and I'm just like, drink coffee, do something. So we get there, and I was doing 2 events at the time, and one of them was balance beam. So she didn't have to do anything but sit there and watch. And I'm warming up, and I get off, and I have to do one more dismount before warm-ups are over, and I do my dismount, and I land, and I totally wipe out my ankle. And it's swollen, and it's gross, and I can't walk, and she's the one who has to take my place. And she is... I never saw somebody, she's like, can you walk? I said, no, it's busted. I can't do anything. And she's like, you have to walk. I said, I can't walk. I can't flip on the balance beam. You have to do it. She goes, I can't do it. I said, why? She goes, because there's like 6 of them. And I'm like, I said, she's like, come on, you know what, just tape it up. And I said, you're up. And she's like, oh my God. And our coach is looking at us having this discussion, and she comes over, and Jen is just totally still hungover. And she's like, I don't know. I said, Lorraine, I said, Jen doesn't feel real good. And she's like, well, she still has to get up. I can't walk. And so she gets up, she does her mount, and she's on the beam, and she stares at me. She takes 2 steps, and off she falls. Kid you not, she gets to the balance beam, she puts her hands back on, she looks right at me, she jumps up, she does 2 more tricks, and she falls. She fell 6 times. She gets off, and she comes over, and Lorraine comes and sits down. She goes, yeah, I knew she went out last night. I knew that, she said, I didn't know you were going to get hurt, but whether you got hurt or not, she was busted. And that's my busted story.